You grew up with a roof. You grew up with a roof over your head, food in your stomach, clothes in your body.
No, children need more than that. Children need.
Being a good parent supersedes the bare minimum. Where's your compassion at? Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here with my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
Hey, content's gonna be a little different today because it's kind of like a reaction, but it's more like a discussion because I feel like this is something that is very important to talk about concerning the Black culture, right? So, as you guys know, I grew up single mother, you know, had 2 siblings, grew up with that. My mom gave me every single thing I ever desired for that she was able to get. I did not grow up without father figures because I did have men in my life. I did not grow up ever lacking. I don't think there's ever a point in my life where I felt like I had something that somebody else had that I didn't have. I don't think there was ever a point, even like when it came down to clothes and stuff, if I ever asked my mom for it, I got it. You feel me? And so one thing that is in our culture that I feel like is a very important talking point is the part that I feel like us as Black people or African Americans, the part we keep forgetting about is the part of you're establishing legacy with your family, right? So it is the job of the parent. My mom built the foundation. She taught me the skills. She made sure I had the right influences. She made sure I learned everything I needed to learn so that I would not have to go through the same trials and tribulations that she had to go through. So she essentially passed me and my siblings the baton. That's how I'm able to be a YouTuber. My sisters are able to be successful college graduates. And we're able to do what we do because of the foundation my mother, through God, laid out for us. And I feel like one thing in the culture is we have this ideology that because we struggle, our kids need to struggle. And we're the only, I feel like we're one of the only cultures that do this to our children. And we don't understand how destructive it is towards our children to sit there and make, because I had to walk 10 miles a day, my son needs to walk 10 miles a day and his son needs to walk 10 miles a day. Well, the thing is, if you did all your steps right, walking those 10 miles in a day, you should have a bike. So your son should be riding a bike now. And after your son rides that bike for 10 miles, your son should have bought a car. His son should have been driving a car because you're essentially building off of what you established. Am I making any sense?
Yeah. Well, just as Black people, we're obsessed with the struggle mentality. We're obsessed with the struggle, you know, just the struggle in general. Yeah. If you're not getting it out the mud, then you're really not making it. Then you're really not struggling. Right. Like, it's just, life don't have to be, life is already hard. Right. So why intentionally and purposely cause more stress and strain and hardships on yourself or your loved ones to prove a point? Right. It doesn't make sense.
And this conversation came up to us because I was on TikTok and I saw a clip from this podcast. And it is a podcast called Being Black is Ghetto. I understand the reference that they're making. It's a good title. And they were having a discussion between a gentleman and a lady, and they were going back and forth. And so as I was listening to the different perspectives and angles, one thing that's like clear when you're watching a debate between two people is everything is not as black and white, right? Like, just because somebody's saying what sounds good to you in that moment doesn't mean that the other person's argument is suddenly completely invalidated, right? Because truly being empathetic is understanding that you have to put yourself in their shoes and in the other person's shoes to understand the argument as a whole. And so this heated debate got into it, and I kind of wanted to just, I'm not going to go through the whole podcast. Unfortunately, they do use a lot of cursing, so I'm going to try to censor as much of it as I can. I know this intro is long, but it's not a reaction. It's more like a discussion. So let's just look at some of the clip.
Time out. Because if you become rich, are you going to do anything for your parents?
Of course.
But you won't do nothing for your child?
I ain't say I wouldn't do nothing for him, but you're gonna value
money
working for something.
But you said struggle. You said that a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah, because
you can raise a child to value $1 without making them struggle for it.
you technically are struggling. You gotta go to school, whatever one of these things. I'm not gonna sit there like I always say, for example,
going to school doesn't mean. What do you mean? Going to school? What do you mean?
Whatever. Use whatever vocabulary word you want to use. Struggle, adversity, whatever, trials and tribulations, whatever you want to use.
So, just off of that clip alone, right? Because I don't know this brother. I don't know his thing. I get what he's trying to say, because I get him. He's trying to essentially establish that no matter what in life, you're going to go through something, right? But there's something that the lady said that was very, very key. Was you can teach your child the value of the dollar without making them struggle for it.
Yeah.
Which is very true, because one thing is, when you look at all these successful businessmen, billionaires, these family empires and stuff like that, you look and you'll notice that there's always the forefather that got it out the mud. Mm-hmm. But everything he learned on how to get this wealth and maintain this wealth, what does he do? He gives it to his successor, the person who's going to carry on the story after he's gone, right? And that's the whole point of us being able to be fruitful and multiply, is that we're able to pass on the skills that we got. If I'm a carpenter and I know how to make things out of the wood, and my son grows up, my son should succeed in me wherever, if I give him all my skills and traits. So he may not want to be a carpenter, but if I teach him about how business works as a carpenter, even if he doesn't become a carpenter, he wants to become a fisherman or a trader, or he understands the customer service skills that come with it. He understands the value of the hard work. He understands how to trade with the value. So he sees that my father built this bench and he got 10 pieces of gold for it. So now I understand that a quality level bench like this is worth 10 pieces of gold.
Yeah.
You get me? And so she's right. I feel like she's 100% right, because he's not wrong. But
his deliverance is wrong.
Yeah. And it could be that's just how he's passionate. So I don't want to use this as like a way for us to like bash his character or nothing, because at the end of the day, he's on the podcast. But she's 100% right on that. You can teach the value of the dollar without making your kids struggle with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm not rolling the red carpet for you. So whatever word you want to use to describe that, whatever. All I'm saying is, as a parent, I'm not rolling the red carpet for you.
So
I don't give how much
you be one of those
I
parents that I went through it, so you got to go through it too. That's what you're gonna be. Not me. Not me. And good thing you're not a parent yet. That is a horrible way of thinking when it comes to raising children. Your children's gonna grow up to hate your ass. I'm telling you now.
So
children will grow up
and
resent you and hate you because you made them struggle unnecessarily.
You grew up with a roof. You grew up with a roof over your head, food in your stomach, clothes in your body. And
children need more than that. Children need.
Where's the love and affection? Yeah, all those things sound cool. I think what people forget is, especially in like the Black community, we lack a lot of love. We lack a lot of like grace. We lack a lot of affection and generosity towards one another.
It's crazy because we can be kind and loving to everybody else.
But when it comes to your own peoples,
we do not give no love to our own people. And I'm listening to him, and it's just like, he's like, I gave you food, I gave you clothes, I gave you a roof over your head.
You want a high five? That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. You're not entitled to nothing.
Right.
They didn't ask to be here.
Right.
That's your responsibility. So you're not getting no brownie points for doing what you're supposed to do as a parent.
Why are we glorifying the mindset of doing the bare minimum? That is the problem I have with how our culture views raising kids. You giving your kids resources, a home, and, some clothes on their back, that's your job. Why are we that's your job.
Yeah. How many times have you like went to school and you gotta you got an A on something and your parents said, well, that you supposed to be getting A's anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I send you to school for.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna praise you for getting an A.
And that's why you see the difference in other cultures and how we kind of treat our children is because I think it's because we're so comfortable with the bare minimum that we don't understand that being a parent and being a good parent supersedes the bare minimum. Where's your compassion at? Your kid is supposed to use you at some point. Like he said, I'm going to take care of my parents. I give them the credit for that. But how you're treating your kids, what is going to make them want to take care of you when you can't move?
Right.
That's why you see so many parents now that they get older, and I'm about to turn us from being light skinned, y'all, because we not no light skins up in here. But you see the parents, they get upset and they're in these old folk centers and they're in these old parent homes and they're angry and they're like, dude, my good for nothing kids, I gave them everything they needed to grow up. And they got the nerve to put me inside an old folks home with all these people when they got houses.
And that is circumstantial because my mom, she used to work in senior citizen homes and stuff like that. And when they used to do bring your child to work day, they used to be so happy to see other people's kids because their kids weren't visiting them. But when you sit and listen
to how they treated
their kids, yeah, your kids have resentment towards you. So that's why they put you here. They can't tolerate you.
Right. And it's just a matter of, like I said, at the end of the day, when me and you have kids, I told you what I wanted. I wanted a son, right? We gonna have kids until we have a son. It don't matter if we have whatever. We gonna have a son. And it's not because daughters are not gonna be adequate to what I need. It's more of I need to make sure that one, my bloodline continues because daughters, they carry partially, but they don't carry the main source of the bloodline. Especially when my daughters get married off, they're leaving the branch. They're still a part of my family, but they're branching into a new family. When I have my son, his wife branches into our family. We're still connected, but that branch is a lot solid. So I need a son because I need to give him the leader characteristics that after I'm done, you're the next one. You have sisters, you have a mother, but you are still the man of the family. And your son's going to be the man of your family. And that's called building it up because I'm passing the torch. If you don't have any love and compassion and I give my son the bare minimum, that's why you see so many people now. I notice there's men now, they get married and they take on the wives last name. And they don't understand the reason why that sons always kept their last name is because you guys carry the bloodline. The daughters are connected to it, but they're going to go mix with another bloodline. You will never mix. So they give up their last name. And so they cut off that whole family tree. And it's because this is bare minimum. There's no love. There's no compassion. There's no desire for me to stay connected to any of this.
Yeah,
more than that. And the reason
I was going to say, I agree. And I feel the same. Me and Justin, we don't have the same last name currently.
Right.
And
And that's fine.
No, I'm ready to change my name.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm ready to change my name, but the process of it is just yeah, it's
tedious. But I know that like spiritually wise and connected wise, you have my last name. Yeah. You were still Mrs. Yeah. Like even though on your ID it doesn't say that, but we know even on our marriage certificate it still says you're that. So yeah.
And I know you're gonna come at me for yelling, but when it comes to kids, I'm passionate about that shit. Because a lot of our parents fucked us up. And I don't think it's fair for us to turn around and give that to our kids. No. You're not okay, nigga. You be on here going off every damn episode. You're not okay. I'm not okay. We're not okay. Listen, and we should not put that toxic shit into our kids at all.
I'm not okay because I have terrible choice in women.
Me personally.
But they look amazing.
Okay.
You have terrible choice in women. That's why you're not okay.
Well, where did you get that? Where did you get that
from?
Where did you get that quality that you can't pull out and distinguish quality women versus just looking at attraction?
Now, if you tell me both your parents are still together, they've been married all this time, but you don't know how to pick a decent woman,
then you didn't learn the lessons.
You didn't learn
the lessons because at the end of the day, I be making this joke on our reactions when we do regular reactions. I be making this joke, and I always make the joke of like, I feel like we need to go back to arranged marriages.
It's not a joke.
It's a joke, but there's a little bit of truth to the joke. Yeah. Because if you look at certain cultures like India, in India, they still practice this. When the son gets of age, the mom and the aunt go out and they pick the bride for the son. They'll sit there, they'll go out, and you guys can correct me what culture this is. I think it is India. I just don't know what branch. So if somebody knows, go ahead, correct me on this. But the moms will tell the son, like, are you ready to settle down? You ready to have a girlfriend? And the son will be like, yeah, I'm ready. And the mom will ask, like, do you, me and your aunt, we have some women that we want you to choose from. Are you ready? And the son will go, yes, I'm ready, or no, I'm not ready. And so once the son says, yes, I'm ready, the moms will go get a whole bunch of their friends, daughters in the neighborhood, women of quality. They'll meet with the parents, and then they'll have the son meet the daughters based off of the preferences that the moms think that the son needs to take care of. Beauty is always a factor, but the qualities. This lady's daughter doesn't know how to cook. My son needs to eat. This lady's daughter is not very nice. My son can't have nobody mean. This lady's daughter, and it's because these cultures understand I and my husband were this because I have these qualities, and we raised a wonderful son. So as a parent or as an aunt or as a cousin or as a female that's connected to this man, I know the type of qualities that because we grew up with him, he's not going to like. So we're going to go out and pick it. My son, I know if I just let my son go out there, men, we are very carnal. Men, we lust after the flesh a lot. So sometimes men will put a beautiful figure, a beautiful shape, a beautiful everything, and we'll ignore every single thing else. We'll ignore the fact that, oh, she bad, but dang, bro, look how she talked to my kids. Ooh, she bad, but dang, bro, she just spent the rent money last week. Dang, she bad though, but dang, it's 3 a.m. She's still not back from the club with her homegirl Chelsea. We'll ignore all that, and then she'll come home, show you some love and affection, and you'll be like, oh, it's all good. I'll forgive you, babe. No, your parents have to instill in you. Your father should be teaching you how to properly court and how to properly be a man. Your mother should be teaching you how to be compassionate, how to be empathetic, and what true submission looks like in a functioning household. And when you see that, you should be able to look at all these millions and billions of women in the workforce and see, okay, she's beautiful, cool. Like when I tried to talk to her though, nah, she very aggressive. She very standoffish. Oh, she says she don't want no man to ever tell her what to do and blah 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 blah. Oh, she an independent woman. Oh, it's like these are things that you got to look at.
There's always going to be a disconnect. You're talking about countries that value marriage versus a country that does not value marriage. There's always going to be a disconnect. Asian culture, Indian culture, those top two on my brain, they value marriage. All of the lengths and things that they are willing to go through to get married and to court each other, they value marriage. Western society, we don't value marriage. That's why our divorce rate is higher than anything else. We don't value the concept of marriage. We don't value the concept of family and unity and all that kind of stuff. It's do or die. Everybody fend for themselves. Your problems are not my problems, so why should I care? It's, everybody's selfish.
Right. Let's jump back into it. It's not really a reaction, guys. We just discussing.
And you want to do that. And if you raise a little girl, you should hope to raise your daughter to not do the same thing you're doing.
I agree with that. When you're raising your kids, you raise them to avoid your pitfalls. Don't conform to that. Me personally, I'm not okay. I don't know what's wrong with me, but we're gonna continue on. Jordan.
Listen, man. That Brown, yo, listen.
Hold on, real quick.
No, you don't. Why would you want the things I've seen, the things I dealt with as a kid, I would never want my kids to deal with that. Never.
Obviously, there's levels to it. Like if you're on some real show, like obviously I want my kids to experience getting the water cut off or pouring your cereal, seeing a roach fall into the bowl. Those are the type of My kids are not experiencing
I'm not saying that.
But I'm about to, like I said, you're not about to sit here and believe like 50 Cent kid. Oh my God, my dad only gives me $7,000 a month. What am I supposed to do with that? I beg your pardon.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
that's spoiling your child. That's why.
And here's why his argument, this is where it falls apart. Y'all gotta realize that y'all are seeing a celebrity child go against their celebrity parent because their celebrity mom does not like their celebrity dad. And y'all are looking at something through the eyes of social media. Social media is not reality.
Yeah.
50 Cent's son is a terrible example because 50 Cent's whole family situation between his mom, 50 Cent, and his son is just the worst possible outcome. 50 don't want nothing to do with his baby mom and his son. Baby moms don't want nothing to do with 50 Cent, and she only is using her son as ways to get back at 50 Cent. And his son got caught in the middle of that and now has resentment. And he only has that thing of that ideology of my dad only gave me $17,000 a month and he's making millions. Who do you think he got that information from? A kid doesn't have access to those records until they become an adult. A 15-year-old boy doesn't understand the value of $17,000.
This is why it's dangerous when you raise your child in a broken home, because it's always whoever that child lives with, it's their word, their story over the person that they were previously with. So as a kid, you absorb all of that as a sponge, and you're taking it from what they've experienced, even though you may have not experienced that for yourself. I've never had bad interactions with my father up until this point, when my mom kept saying this, and this. And then when I finally get around him, I got resentment towards him because of how he treated my mom. That's just what it is.
Right. No, that's a perfect example of it. And this is why I feel like Black culture, this is what hurts us the most, knowing that the government had points where they took all our fathers out the home. And they created this ideology that the mother has to be the mother and the father. And that the father is just there to bring in money and get out the picture. Mm-hmm. And you look at all these other cultures, where the father is present in the home, the level of respect is there. And we don't have these issues of, oh man, my dad only bought me this, man. And I blah, 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 blah. Because that discipline and that character is invested in there. But because we grow up in broken homes and homes where we're looking for the influence, we're looking for the male influence in the home because the male has been completely taken out. God's order of the household, which was God at the head, the husband, the wife, the child. That's the perfect way that the devil was able to disrupt, because what is the devil here to do? Steal, kill, and destroy. And he hates everything that God loves, and God hates everything that the devil loves, right? So looking at the order of the household, the devil, to spite God, what does he do? He tempted Eve. He had Eve disrupt the order, and she convinced Adam to do something that he knew wasn't working. Look at how he does the same tactic in modern day everything now. The woman, look at so many situations of, you'll see a husband submit to something that he knows does not line up with him morally to make his wife happy. Mm-hmm.
Happy life, happy wife. Happy wife, happy life.
Right. Thank you.
That is
right. And then you'll look at a marriage, you'll look at relationships now, and you'll see the guy sitting there and he's just in the back. He don't got no voice. He don't got no power. He don't got no authority. He's just in the back. And the wife does all the talking. The wife does all the everything. If the wife going off, nothing can go. Because the power that the wife has is you guys control the atmosphere of the house. And that's the thing, you women, you guys got to understand. You guys have a lot of power.
No, they understand it.
Well, yeah, they weaponize it.
They understand it.
But the reason why the head, there has to be a head over the body, is because even though you're controlling the atmosphere, you control whether your kid's going to be happy or sad, you control whether your man going to be angry or not, he still has to make the decisions. Because while you're controlling all these emotions, you don't have as much control over your own emotions. You have a whole curse that you got because of Eve's fall. You guys have to cleanse yourselves And what happens when you guys are going through y'all cleansing cycle? Y'all emotional compass is just everywhere. 1 second y'all mad, 1 second y'all happy, 1 second y'all sad, 1 second y'all furious. Well, guess what? You've been controlling the whole household. You put your man in submission that you're above your man now. Now you're out of whack. Guess what happens to the rest of the house? They're out of whack too. But if your man would have been the head of your family, if you would have allowed your man to be your man and submitted, when you went out of whack, you would have had that enforcer to go, hey, you're bugging out. You're making decisions that are not working out. Stop. It's time for me to take over. Go through your cycle. Here's your snacks. Here's this. Go sit down somewhere. Let me make these decisions. When you are done going through your situation, then come back and you can come sit in your throne right next to me, and we can keep leading this country like we need to. But y'all kick the man out so hard, he not even there no more. So now you going insane by yourself. And your man's in the background like a child just sitting there. This is it. Other cultures don't have this problem. And it's because the devil did this. I think the devil did this crucially to the black culture because we are one of the most spiritually inclined people. Black culture, 90% of everything we do as black people is intertwined with spirituality. Everything. We thrive off of hope, faith, and just seeking God. It don't matter if you seeking God in a voodoo doll, seeking God in a blah, blah, blah. No matter what, it doesn't matter where culture black. We all are spiritually inclined people. And unfortunately, there are some bad spirits that people are inclined to. Not saying every other culture is not, but I can only speak for my culture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to piggyback real quick off of the 50 Cent thing, his argument doesn't work simply because 50 Cent set up, well, it probably does work, but either way, 50 Cent set up avenues for his son to make money outside of him. The money that he was giving to his son, it was for him to invest. He bought his son a sneaker shop. The son didn't want to do it because the mom was convincing him that it wasn't going to make him money.
Right.
So,
and that goes back to what I'm saying of it doesn't work because 50 Cent's son's attitude towards him was not his initial attitude. It was the attitude he was taught by his mother.
Yeah, and that's dangerous.
All I'm saying is yes, it's important to teach your kid to value a dollar. I'm not saying not to do that. But you said struggle. That's the only word I ain't like. Because when I think of struggle, I'm thinking of you going to have your child walking 10 miles to school when they don't have to. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Just because you had to do it doesn't mean your child should have to go through that. You built a better life for your child so your child could grow up better than what you dealt with.
See, look, that's the difference between me and me. Yeah, that walk to the high.
I'm not making my daughters. Listen.
Nigga, I walk from the Bronx.
My daughters have probably only been on the train maybe 3 times in their life. And I'm happy to say that. Really? My children, if I'm not doing it, they not doing it.
So what happened when they got to travel to the city? They're going to just take an Uber? Like, that's what you want for them?
Hopefully by then, I have the money to provide them a driver to take them where they need to go.
I'm not mad.
That is not good. That's what I'm saying. Your standards is mad crazy because now...
Do you know how dirty and nasty and unsafe the trains are? Why would I put
New York?
Why would I put...
Look, and men, pay attention to this. She's talking in relation to her daughter.
And what she's probably experienced as someone that had to ride the train. Have you been on a city bus? Have you ever had to go on a train?
I've been on a bus before. I don't think I've ever had to get on a train, but that's because my mom always had a whip. My mom always had a car, and so I had to get on school buses because there was a point where my mom was working so much.
That's luxury.
Yeah, I had to get on a city bus once, but it's like other than that, my mom gave me everything that I didn't need to get on a bus. I had to walk all of high school, but that's because one, bro, I was 6 foot 240. Who was really stopping me? Like, plus you know where my mom lived at. That area is bad, but I walked through the right side, the cleaner side of the city. I didn't go through that side towards, you feel me?
Amen.
My mom wouldn't let me walk that way. I walked the opposite side. I was walking through the white neighborhoods. Because the quickest way to get home was not the safest way to get home. So my mom specifically told me, like, you not finna walk that way. I know it takes 10 minutes longer, but walk that other way. You feel me? Because it was bad over there. I walked through there one time. I won't do it again. You ever see, like, I walked through that side. You ever see a person get knocked out and they head hit a tire and just boom, they just hit a tire and everybody around them is just like, yeah, stomp them out. After I saw that, I was like, I see why my mom told me not to come on this side. Like, and all my homies while I'm walking with is gassing it up. Like, yeah, man, that's how you supposed to do it. I'm looking at them like, that's a crime right there, bro. Like, you could have killed homeboy. What was you saying?
I was just asking if you've ever been on a bus or a train.
Oh, go ahead. What does that got to? Go ahead. Continue.
No, I'm just asking for conversation.
Oh, I thought you had a point to go there.
Because he's saying like you live in New York. Yeah, she lives in New York. I don't think anybody would want to be on a New York subway willingly. They do it because they have to, not because they truly want to. Like, nobody wants to ride the bus. Nobody wants to ride public transportation, but they have to because that's their only type of transportation for right now.
Plus, as a parent, you want your child, we can all agree, as a parent, you want your child to have as low encounters with bad influences as possible, right? We want our child to avoid every single route that can lead to them throwing their life away, right? Look at the environment. You're in New York, right? Look at the environment and the culture that is in New York. You got people that gangs, you got people that are doing like crazy amounts of, and I can't speak because Cali just as bad, right?
Oh, yeah, I was getting some mess getting on the bus.
Right. But look at all the avenues by you saying, oh, my kid got to do it. I went through it. This is New York. So you're saying you want your kid to be influenced because peer pressure is more powerful than what you think. Especially when you see a kid that look like you, talk like you, walk like you, but he got money and you don't got money.
Yep.
And he like, man, I be making money, dog. What is your kid? The first thing your kid gonna do? Man, I like money. I want the new J's. I want to do this. You're actively throwing your children to those influences and you're saying, oh, I went through it. I turned out okay. You'll be okay. You don't know that.
There's a difference between you intentionally doing it because you feel like because you went through it, they should go through it type thing. Mm-hmm. Or in my case, my mom always worked super far. Yeah, she always had a whip, but she worked super far. So that would lead me to have to take 2 buses to get to my grandma's house, walk the rest of the way to my grandma's house. Or if I miss a bus, then I gotta walk, go to the next bus stop, get off, all that kind of stuff. So she always worked super far. So me getting a ride to and from, I get dropped off at school, but I had to be at school like 6 a.m. because we commute. So I'm up at like 4 a.m. at school by 6 or 7 before the gates are even unlocked. And I got to sit there because she had to go to work because she commuted really far. And then when I got out of school, I had to find my way back. So
yeah, and my kids ain't gonna have to walk. I'm not saying I'm giving them a car or anything, but I'm gonna make sure my kid get to and from because I can't trust nobody to allow my kid to get to and their destination safely but myself. And even then, I can't even trust myself because I could be driving and somebody could hit us.
Oh yeah, and then when I experienced getting on a school bus for the first time, I'm like, oh, so this is luxury. And then I had a little boy kick the back of my seat and I got into a fight and that was the last time I got on the bus. So the bus is ghetto, regardless. Right, the school bus, look, the city bus.
Yeah, and look, you got your seat kicked by a boy and you're a girl.
He was calling me a monkey. Mm-hmm. He was mad because I sat in his seat, which is a bus. There's no assigned seating. Sit your tail down. And he kept kicking the back of my seat. And I called my mom. I said, listen, I'm about to get into a fight on this bus. I need you to pull up when the bus gets to the stop because after this, I'm not getting back on this bus. She's like, what are you talking about? I clicked the phone and I'll beat that boy up.
Right. And why would you want your daughter to go through that?
Mm-mm.
Imagine how bad it is out there. Mm-mm. We see how y'all operate out there in New York. No offense to New York, but come on now. Y'all built different out there. Just like we can talk about LA, Compton, Long Beach, all over here. We can talk about the Bay, all that, how bad some of those areas, Oakland be, and Cali, New York, y'all up there too. Just like Florida, y'all up there too. Shout out to Florida. I hope y'all getting through that hurricane and everything, man. Prayers. But Come on, bruh. Why would you want your child to be in the lion's den like that?
My seed on any of those things if it's up to me. Absolutely not.
Why you say you get to public school?
What?
Public school is different. Public school is different.
If you feel that way, go send them to a charter school or Catholic school.
Charter school is what I would prefer to put them in. Absolutely, I would. But charter schools aren't that easy. It's a wait list for it. I've tried it plenty of times. It's hard to get
bougie
charter
kids.
schools.
That's what you want.
I don't want bougie children. I want my children to have a better life than I do. And let me tell you something. My children go to public school, but just know my ass decided to join the PTA. Okay. My ass is putting my children in the school student government. Just because my children are in public school doesn't mean they're not gonna take what they're given and do better.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Extracurricular activities. So
let me ask you a question. When your child gets to the age of dating, she meets a respectable young man, and he wants to take her somewhere, and obviously he doesn't have a car, he needs to go wherever they need to go on the train. Are you going to allow him to do that, yes or no?
My child's not going on the train. I would give them money to go wherever they need to go.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm middle ground.
They will have a driver.
I'm middle ground. They will have a driver. I understand both standpoints. Shout out to you. I understand both standpoints. Here's the thing. We are grinding right now so we can raise our kids the best way we can. Exactly. We want to give them the best, beautiful life that we can, that we never had. So I get that. Do I want my kids taking the train all the time? They're going to learn how to take the train. But I want to facilitate them traveling. If I can give them a great life, I'm going to do that. So I understand her.
And if I'm going to be real.
You're capping in your raps. I'm sorry, I got to double back on that.
No, I'm not.
No, I agree. I agree with what he's saying. I think it is important for them to at least have, like, learn different avenues of transportation and stuff. Like, you know.
This is why him right here, this energy he giving, it's just like, it's kind of scary. It's sad because there's a lot of dudes that have the same energy. And I don't know what it is that it's like, I don't know why we got to the point that if people even just like have an opposite opinion, like it's like, oh, we gotta go to war and let them know that they wrong. Like, prime example, we have to put disclaimers in our videos that these opinions are video-based opinions. It's not how we feel about the subject as a whole. It's just how we feel initially watching what we're seeing initially. Meaning that once this video ends, my opinion about this subject may be different because I'm not watching it. Now I'm taking everything in. The whole point of a reaction is I'm only taking in this general information. I'm only reacting to this general information.
No, y'all watch the reactions before you actually do the video.
Which is this?
Who got time for that?
Hey, whoever does, you think I'm gonna watch an hour video and then react to the video for another 2 hours? Bro, I got a life. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Work smarter, not harder. What's wrong with you?
That's the whole point of the blind reaction. That crap is so stupid. It's a blind reaction. Cause, bro, if y'all look at the videos I watch, if my videos are not 20 to 30 minutes long, when I'm watching it, I don't pay attention to it and I'll just ignore it. You can only keep my attention for 20, 30 minutes. And then after that, I turn you off because I got other stuff I can be doing. I can be making my own videos. I could be doing all that. I'll listen to a video while I'm driving. I'm not going to watch Pop the Balloon for an hour and 30 minutes, then go wake my wife up like, hey, babe, it's time to go react to Pop the Balloon. After I just watched that crap for an hour and 30 minutes, bro, I don't even like being in this office for too long. Like, y'all be capping,
after we experienced that first hiccup in that the video, I think episode 3 or 4.
Oh, where we had to record it 3 times?
Ooh, boy.
Boy, y'all, that day we had to react to the same video 3 times. And the video itself was the first time we reacted to it, it was 3 hours and 40 minutes because we didn't really understand our reactions. If you guys look, our reactions back in February, they was long. Like this time, y'all be complaining about it now. Y'all talk too much, but if you look at our reaction lengths and you look at the original length of the original video will be an hour and 30 minutes. We'll only have talked 40 minutes total.
Yep.
And y'all be like, y'all talk too much. Y'all let the video play. We did. Technically, the video is playing 2 times longer than we actually talked.
Yeah, y'all over here trying to get people copyright strikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Go watch the video somewhere else then.
When y'all see people going on reaction channels talking about some, oh man, just let the video play. Just let the video play. I want y'all to know, when y'all read those comments, just know that person is walking ignorance. Because their formula is why so many YouTube channels do not succeed. Do not let your video, don't just sit there silent watching a video for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes long. You're stealing people's content at that point.
Yep, and YouTube will take you down for that.
YouTube will take you down. We did it the way y'all wanted to. There was a video we recorded where we barely talked. Guess what happened? Copyright took us down. Copyright is, as long as we're doing commentary and we're talking and we're pausing and we're doing all this, we are adding original content to this content. Meaning that this video, though the source may be the same, the result of the video is not the same. Mm-hmm. We are altering the content. We're adding our own input. This is our content. You guys go to reaction channels, the dude talk for 2 minutes. Y'all be like, bro, just play the video.
Go watch the original video. Thank you for your support anyway, but go watch the original video.
Get off the video. The whole point of our reaction is you're here to hear what we gotta say. You're not here for the video. You're supposed to be here to hear what we gotta say. That's why it's a reaction.
That's why most people watch the original first and then they come to the reaction.
Right. Even right now, I already know, just because how some people are, they sit here, even though we said this is not a reaction, this is a discussion. Podcast. This is a podcast discussion. I don't even like that word podcast.
Or
it's a discussion. I don't like no.
Yeah.
I don't like podcasts because how bad stuff of a like stigma. This. Yeah, it's getting. No.
Well, not like this, but like the whole the environment of like podcasting,
right?
It's starting to become real toxic,
right? And so I call this a discussion. It's a podcast, but it's a discussion in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I want to get away from podcasts, but even right now, even though we said this is a discussion, there's gonna be somebody like, bro, can you just let the video play? Y'all talk too much. It's just like, bro, go get help.
Let me time out. The only reason I know how to take the train is because I started working in Brooklyn. If it wasn't for that, I did not know how to take the train. You could ask any of my family members. I did not know nothing about the train.
You the fakest
I only know how to take the 2 to one side to the other. The 16 up the street from my school. Other than that, I never knew nothing about public transportation. If you put me in the city right now, I will get lost. I promise you that. My parents drove me everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
And my children will not have to deal with that either.
You take pride in that. That's what I'm saying. Everything is opinionated, but to me, that's a problem.
Why is that a problem?
The
train is dirty. The train is nasty. And the train is dirty. And it's unsafe. I'm not putting my child on there.
You have 20 plus years.
I didn't carry my child for 10 months. Split from the rooter to the tutor. For my child to go on a dirty, stinking train, possibly get harmed and get bed bug and come in my yard? No. We're not doing that.
I'm not mad at her for that. The train is crazy nowadays. I ain't gonna hold you. So like,
it's too much happening on the trains.
I give her
People
that.
have their penis out jacking off. I'll be damned. Nigga, I put my child through that.
My mom used to work in the South Bronx. I told her stop taking the trains, change your job. She did. It's getting too crazy. A woman at 241st had thrown in her face. A nigga got stabbed for his AirPods. So I support that.
I took the train when I was going to college. When I was going to BMCC. And I took Soraya to school with me. I was taking the train back home, and somebody was whacking his wee-wee in the corner. I said, hell no! I'm not dealing with this shit again. Hell no!
I'll say
these things could happen to any occurrence.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I used to take the metro, and this happened a lot on the metro.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Buddy, I want you to... I don't know if he'll even watch this, but this is crazy. Because just because something bad can happen does not mean that we don't need to do precautions to make sure that it doesn't happen. The whole point of a bulletproof vest is not so you can go get shot. It's for in case you do get shot.
Yeah.
The whole point of restrictions on knives was not so people can buy smaller knives. It was because bigger knives were killing people too often. Yeah. If she's saying, as a woman, she took her daughter on a train and a dude was back there taking care of himself in public and it made her feel unsafe as a woman, for you to sit there and say, bro, it can happen anywhere.
You go sit next to the man doing that then.
It's not even that.
That's just...
It's ignorant.
Yeah.
That's ignorant, bro. And the fact that you're telling her, get over it.
Public indecency is not something to just get over with. That's traumatizing.
Right, because if this dude doesn't have any shame or he doesn't care that people are watching him take care of himself, what makes you think he gonna care to, man, that girl look bad, I want her. He don't care. He gonna go take her. You're telling a woman to ignore that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with because he's saying like you're taking pride in not wanting to take the train. Like there's nothing wrong with that, because obviously there's something wrong with the system and how it's being placed for people to use public transportation, and people don't know how to act
right
while being on public transportation.
I think he's arguing it because it makes he's in the mindset of, by her talking down on the train, and this is something that people have to use, it's almost like she's shaming people, or she thinks she's too good to be on a train. So it's coming off like yeah, like I'm too good to be on a train. Like I'm bet if you're on a train, you're beneath me. And that's how he's interpreting it, because it's like you're taking pride in that. But he's not understanding. She's not taking the train in a status of I'm too good to be on a train. She's not taking the train because she's already identified that the risk versus the reward is not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
That's why listening is fundamental. Get out of your feelings, because because not once did she say, "Oh, I'm better than people that take the train." No. And not once did she say, "I'm not ever gonna take the train." She said she's taken the train before. If she has to, she will take it. But if she can prevent herself from having to take the train and her kids, then she'll do that. I don't think there's anything
not working the field. I had a nigga that parked his car, and while he was grabbing his stuff, somebody just came from behind and stabbed him in his stomach. All these things happen. You having a car is not gonna avoid you getting poked, robbed, any of these things.
I'm not okay, but that I would rather listen. If it's in God's will for my child to be going in the car with her driver, and something happened that's different than me putting my child on the goddamn train.
It's also on top of that too. Even if say whatever guy came and picked your daughter up, you so confident because he just has a car. You don't know what kind of driver he is. You don't know if he's a reckless driver. What if, God forbid, your daughter around and died because she got in a car with this nigga?
God forbid.
Come on now.
Type shit.
Obviously.
Stop being
that argument doesn't work, because it can be flipped on you back towards the train. You're having so much confidence in the train and the people on the train that nothing's gonna happen. You're having so much confidence because this guy drives his train every day that he won't crash. But guess what? Pilots crash all the time.
They derail.
Planes crash all the time. Trails derail. We just had a train derail not even like 2 months ago out here. And guess what? The train track out here is straight. It's a straight train track. There's no sharp turn. There's no curves. It's straight. And the train still derailed.
Because things happen.
Yeah, things happen. So just because things happen here does not mean all of a sudden that every option is equal. If I know walking down this alley, if I see two alleys, right? There's two pathways. One pathway, there's just one guy standing there. But then this pathway, there's 30 guys standing there.
I'll take the one.
I'm going to take the one pathway, because even though this one dude can still murder me and do whatever he does, I have a better odds of getting through this one pathway than the 30 guys. Because at the end of the day, I don't know any of these 30 guys. And people will say, well, one of those guys can help you. Okay, even if five dudes have good intentions in that alley, the other 25 don't. Mm-hmm. And just because if five dudes have good intentions and 5 dudes got bad intentions and the other 20 dudes is neutral, they still not helping me. Right. They gonna watch. But with this one guy, I know it's my strength versus his strength. If he even comes down to it, it's a 50-50. He could be a good guy, he could be a bad guy. But in the case that he's a bad guy, it's one-on-one. We can settle that. They could be good people, they could be bad people, but the odds of them being bad people is a lot higher. It's not a 50-50 no more.
Bougie is bro.
I don't care.
What's wrong with bougie kids, though?
I'm sorry for your kids.
And that's what I'm saying, too. It sounds crazy because realistically, if your daughter got to one of them stages where she wants to see her boyfriend every day, nigga, you not paying for
First
Uber
off,
every single day.
my daughter is not seeing no boyfriend every day until she is of age to do so. Let's start there.
What's of age, by the way? Good question.
I think the respectful dating age, if my children is doing what they need to do in school, is 16.
30.
Do what you need to do. No, I'm being realistic, because let's be real. They're going to be in high school. Come on. I'm not going to be that kind of parent. Like, don't do it. If it's up to me and me and my children have the relationship I would hope we have, 16, we could have a conversation and we could look into you maybe dating, and I'm going to handle it. I told him earlier, that young man need to come to my door. He needs to come introduce himself. I need to get his license. If he has a car, his parents' name, I need to talk to his parents. Like, you're not taking my children, I'm going to treat them like royalty. I'm sorry. Royalty, kids that are part of royalty don't get treated like how you want to treat your kids. My children are going to be, going to have certain standards, and that little boy better respect it, or he cannot date my daughter.
That's
Yeah.
Yep.
And I agree, but then also there are certain kids that are treated, that are of royalty, that get treated like how he wants to treat his kids. But it's because the way that you bring your children up, that's why they get treated like that.
Right.
That's why they get treated like that.
Right.
So it's just...
And the thing is, it's not like this. The crazy part is, she got everything out the mud. I got everything out the mud. My mom, I used to sit at my mom's salon from sun up to sundown, taking out trash, sweeping up floors, supporting my mom. I watched my mom. So my mom got it out the mud. I was in the mud with her, but I ain't had to do all the digging. But still, everything I have now, I had to work 12, 14 hours, drive hour. Y'all don't know what it's like. I mean, a lot of people don't know what it's like, bro. You ever had a 16-hour work day? I got it out the mud. Everything, everybody sees the YouTube thing, but bro, I only just got this YouTube stuff in February. I ain't even been out the mud a full year yet. So for me to say this ideology of I got it out the mud, my kid need to get it out the mud, I don't agree with that ideology at all.
I don't agree with, I guess I don't agree with like idolizing your children.
Right.
Like when he says, I'm not going to roll out the red carpet for you.
I agree with that, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to like kiss the ground that you walk on because you're my child, because then I'm worshiping you as my child when God sent me here to worship him and have you worship him also. Right. So I get that. I get that in a sense. I don't believe in idolizing your child, but I also don't believe in, you know, the harshness of.
Because it's like you said earlier in the podcast, my child didn't choose to be here. Yeah. My child didn't choose. I had intercourse regardless of if my child was going to be born or not. I still kept the mindset that this child is going to be born. The child did not choose to be born. And, so how dare you enforce, you already brought me here and I didn't ask to be here. And now you brought me here so I can suffer and struggle because you didn't like how you suffered and struggled. Mm-hmm. So you brought me into it?
Mm-hmm. And then two, there's a disconnect because they're talking about the I's. When you have children, there's another parent involved. So you can't just say like, well, I'm going to raise my kids to be this, and this without the other parent being involved or having a say, because the way he's probably talking, the girl that he ended up getting with probably is not going to agree with how he wants to raise the children. Right.
That's a good standard.
What if your own daughter feels like you're doing too much?
It don't matter how my kid feel. Hold on. Why does my daughter get to hold on? And here's another disconnect. So now you want your child to struggle, but then you want to give your child blind free will? So you can struggle and have free will? Because as a parent, my child don't have free will. Locos parentis means that, hey, locally everybody's your parent. So when my kid is at school, if I hear a teacher say, I told your daughter to put her cell phone away, and your daughter responded with, you ain't my daddy, I'm checking my child, because locos parentis means technically for these 8 hours, he's your stepfather at that point, because he's your government poppy, because guess what? He has the right to tell you because he's the parent while I'm not there. Mm-hmm. So dating wise, my kids ain't dating till they're 18. I did it. My sisters did it. It is what it is. And it's not because my mom didn't trust us with dating. I learned the hard way I had to find out the hard way why my mom was right. Because I tried to sneak girlfriends and all that, and so much stuff came with that to the point where my mom, if anything, my mom telling me focus on God and just do your own thing and don't worry about these girls. You're going to get a girl in college. That's what my mom told me. Don't worry about these girls. You're going to get a girl in college. Don't worry about these girls. You're going to get a girl in college. Guess what happened my first year of college? I got my wife in college. My mom was right.
I started dating like 13.
Well, you started dating at 13? I mean, we all snuck, but like I wasn't allowed to. So I don't count those as real dating because it was me sneaking around trying to have a girlfriend. And luckily my sisters, they cut it every single time. I got caught every single time I had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think 16. Yeah, 15, 16. I was in like a serious relationship all the way up until senior year.
Right.
Yeah, so I always dated.
Yeah, my kids ain't dating until they're 18.
No, I agree.
It's over there. Not with me.
All right, but you the same one that keep talking on this whole episode that you don't want to run your kids away. And you don't feel like you're doing too much.
No, I'm not, because the way I'm raising. First of all, my daughters have standards. Time. My daughters have standards now.
Having all your friends,
my daughters have standards
together,
now.
hop on the train together. Imagine that you want to go on the train because all my friends, we're all going to Times Square together. We're all about to hop on the train and be like, no, baby, you're not doing that. I'll take you there.
I'm not raising my kids. I'm not putting my kids staying in New York and my kids gonna grow up in high school over here. Not happening. If it's up to me, not happening. Let's start there. New York is not where it's at for my daughters. Absolutely not.
You learn so much from being in New York, and you learn so much from being in high school.
Not mine.
You know how to maneuver.
Not mine.
You know how to maneuver.
Not mine.
Just because you lived in New York and went to school in New York, you know how to maneuver.
I went to school
through
up
life.
the street from my house. My mom dropped me off every day. No,
Word?
I didn't learn. I didn't learn.
You got.
Not mine.
You got street smarts from going from elementary school.
No, I got street smarts from my family and we done dealt with outside of school. That's where my street smarts came from, not from school.
Yeah.
Got you.
Listen, man.
If it's up to me, my children would not go to high school.
Are we taking pride in the fact that we learn how to survive the streets where we were supposed to be getting education? Like, I never understood that. Like, dudes would be taking pride. Oh, yeah, man, I was out in the streets, man. I learned how to box at school. I used to fight everybody at school. Sir, you weren't there to fight. Yeah, but stuff happened. Yeah. But you telling me you went to 30 fights in your freshman year? Are you sure it was that people kept coming to you? Or was it at some point, there got to be some accountability because you got 30 ops in your freshman year?
But you got to think about it. If his environment is like that outside of school, he's going to bring that environment to school with him.
Exactly.
That's why people say your environment tells a lot about you and your character and how you were raised, because your environment, your at-home environment is going to spill over into everything else when you finally step outside your home. That's why you got kids that don't know how to act when you go in public because they don't know how to act when they're at home.
Exactly. Need a belt.
Up here, and I'm gonna take back that whole peasant comment because they daddy around, and I'm sure he understands why I'm raising my daughters the way I'm raising them to have standards. My dad even carries on with that. When my dad picks my daughters up, he opens their door. My daughters are learning now at a young age how a person's supposed to treat them. So a man has to come to them correct.
I hear that.
That door is always gonna blow minds.
Well, your son can't date my.
So,
whoa,
this is men. These newer days. Chivalry, respect.
That's gone.
It's gone.
It's been gone.
It's gone. The door thing. Do you understand why the concept of the door thing is? It's because you're supposed to make the area safe for your female. That's the origin of the door. That's why they call it chivalry, honor, all that. That's why you notice you see those old movies where the guy will always, he'll open the door, but what does he always do when he opens the door? He walks in, as he's opening, he looks inside, opens, then lets his girl walk through.
Yeah.
Because if there's a guy with a gun sitting there, I'm supposed to open and react. I'm supposed to be out of 10 out of all times. Now, if I get killed, at least my wife has 30 seconds to a minute to react to what just happened.
I don't think he's the kind of guy that looks at it that way.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care. Like, you know?
Yeah. And this right here is going to be telling because this is what females are looking at.
But then it's like, that's what females are looking at. But I feel like it's always a rebuttal because men are always like, well, who going to open the door for me? Who going to do those things for me?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I know God created me with the strength I have to be able to do what I got to do. When me and wifey go, when we walk across the street, I grab her hand, and what do? I walk in front, and I pull her along. And as we get closer and closer to being closer to the curb, what do? I always pull her in front.
He lobs me on the curb.
Yeah, I push her towards the curb. Because if somebody come going crazy, she gonna make it to the curb. When we go to the store, when we go out to eat, I always get to the door first. I'll look inside, I'll open it, then I walk in behind her. Because, shoot, you don't know what a stranger can do. I need to make sure your front good, and I gotta check your back. When we out with her brother, when we go to stores, I walk to the side of her brother behind. And I tell him every time, when it's time for us to walk to the car, you looking this way, I'm looking this way. She don't gotta worry nothing. She can be on her phone the whole time. It don't matter. That's not her job. She not gonna protect me. It's not her job. It's my job. I mean, you gonna slide for me. I know what you about. I know you about it.
Protect you.
I know, BB. I know you about it, but that's not your job though. If I start getting whooped in a fight, you better help me out with the freak. But if he start whooping me and he realize he got the strength of 30 dudes and he can whoop you too, get the car and run him over. Hit him with the car. That's the best thing you gonna do for us.
Hit him with the car. Hit him with the car.
Get in the car and lock the keys. Call the cops. Something. If I'm getting whooped, do something. Because I'm already a big dude. If I'm getting whooped, you need to call the cops. That dude is unnatural. Right?
Unnatural.
Don't take that beat down with us. We both can't have it. But at the end of the day, you men have to be the protector. Chivalry is a part of being the protector. Y'all look at this, dude. Y'all look at how this world operate. Y'all have been taught that y'all call women the B word every second. Y'all call them boppers, thoughts. You look how y'all talk about y'all women. And then now you sitting there talking about that opening the door for the women. Man, y'all blowing me. Do y'all want to be with the homies? Some of y'all dudes be acting like y'all chick is the homie. Hey, if we get in this fight, you got my back, right? It's two dudes, you and a female. She supposed to handle one dude by herself? Nah, hey, babe, let's go. Let's go back that way.
I can.
I know you're a thug.
Go for the knees.
Y'all be wanting to date the bros.
The bros.
My daughter. Cause he not gonna be able to fit the criteria for my daughter to even look his way. Cause he gonna open my daughter's door.
So you really want to wait an extra 4 seconds for me to walk around the car?
I'm right, but my thing is, in the same breath, I will raise my daughters to treat the men with the love and respect they deserve and desire. So I expect my daughter to be treated like a queen same way.
Quick question.
I'm gonna teach them to do both.
Quick question. Guy etiquette. Every time we get in the car, I gotta open the door. Just date nights, I can do that. Like I don't gotta do that all the time.
Me personally, I don't make it a huge deal.
Okay.
Like if the door, the way the car is set up, if he gotta walk all the way around, that's OD. But if you walk into the door before me, you can open my damn door. You right there, you closer.
Date nights. I'll do that on date nights. Feel me?
I've opened doors. Listen, I do all of these things, but I don't know. Things are just crazy.
I agree. It's situational, but every attempt for me to open the door is gone. When we get to the car, I unlock the car door. I unlock it. I don't get into the car until I know she's already getting into the car. Cause you don't know. I could get in there and buckle up, and then some dudes rush her and start beating her up. Now I gotta unbuckle, get back out the car, all that. She gets to the car door before me. Click it, unlock, get in. Now when we go inside buildings though, I always go door first. I always go in. Even when we come home, if I don't got something in my hands, once she unlock the door, I go through the door first. Cause you never know what can happen.
Even in those old movies, you see the gentleman might take his blazer, take it off, and put it in the puddle.
No.
Nigga, what? Why? You know how much his tech costs? You putting this in a fucking puddle, nigga. You bugging the out, nigga. You gotta hop this puddle. You ever see them things?
But the thing, my thing is,
time in New York.
You know what annoys. Oh, you know what annoys me though, because I see it happen often. There are men that won't do all of that, but the man that does all of that, the niggas be looking at him like, yo, he's doing too much. Why he doing all of that? He don't got to do all of that.
Yeah, they call him the S word and stuff.
It's not weird. You know why?
And I think that's weird.
A nigga that took, because you doing all of that for a nigga that I'm gonna kill that in his first link. Oh my God. You doing all of that for the next nigga to kill on first link.
Hold on. Yeah,
real stories,
no,
bro.
but that's crazy.
This is crazy. Again, when I sit on this couch, y'all both have strong polarizing points. Because what she's saying is valid, what you're saying is valid.
You know what it is? What he's saying is low value, is low functioning.
Nah,
what I'm saying is high functioning.
He's not wrong.
That's low functioning. That's low functioning. That's low functioning.
Hold on, wait. Hear me out.
Your sons and your daughters will be low functioning if you continue with that mentality.
Hold on.
My daughters will be high functioning.
I don't like when people start going low functioning and low value and stuff like that.
Talk.
I don't like that. This is where she lost me on that one.
Yeah.
And it's not because for people to have that conclusion, there has to be something that's happening that gives them the conclusion. Now, to him, talking about like, oh, you bugging out for being chivalrous, he lost me on that one. Chivalry is not dead. And if it's dead, it's because men like you killed it. There's nothing wrong. It's a respect, honor, and it's a pride of a man that you're supposed to have that comes along with chivalry.
I feel like it goes both ways, because just like how there are certain men that have ruined like chivalry, there are certain women that ruined it for men to be chivalrous towards women.
Right.
So I feel like it's a double standard. But I also I do agree with what he's saying, like as far as for some men that function the way that he says they function, some men would look at that as like, well, what's the point of doing all this when, you know, there's one guy being a goody two shoes, being, you know, just being himself, being catering to a woman, and that same woman that was being catered to by this man goes and gets with a guy like him just for him to make it past first, second, third, and fourth base in less than the amount of time that it took the first guy to even, you know, pursue her.
My counter, my counter retort to that is, that's not the man's fault.
That's the woman.
It's the type of woman that you're going for.
Right.
That's the type of woman that you're going for. If your woman is going to sit there and allow you to do all this, but then the homies already didn't have that, why are you going for somebody that the homies didn't already had? It's the quality of women that you're going for. Your chivalry wasn't pointless. It was the right thing to do for the wrong person.
Right.
And that's because a lot of these dudes don't understand that just because the girl is in your city don't mean that she got to be the girl you go after.
Yeah.
If you look, there's a lot of women out here that, bro, there's still women that are still virgins and they're 25, 30, 45. And why? Because they're the ones that don't give it up too easy. Mm-hmm. And then you got the chivalrous dude who's sitting there, he going after the girl that, dang, that's Tiana. Tiana, she be at everybody party. She be at everybody crib. She be doing everything. And you try to bring the chivalrous act to her, I can change her.
No.
It's not the chivalrous dude's fault that it was wasted. It actually is, because you're directing that at something that you know wasn't worth that type of effort.
So at that point, was it you trying to be chivalry, or were you in a carnal mind, like lusting after her?
That part, because at the end of the day, one thing is, I'm tired of this thing where people would be like, "Oh, I didn't know that she was that type of girl." I wish people would pull that blinder off and start being truthful. You can easily tell what type of people are by even just conversation. Mm-hmm. Just by conversation.
Even you can even likeness through music. If somebody tells you, if a woman walks up to you and tells you, yeah, I like Sexy Red, I like Doja Cat, I like Megan Thee Stallion, I like Cardi B. What does that tell you?
That tells you a lot. And the thing is, the reason why people don't get that is because people don't understand the spiritual impact that music has on people.
Yeah.
They don't understand how dangerous music actually is. There's a reason why drill rap was so popular. And I bring this example up because drill rap is one of the most dangerous types of music, just like heavy metal was a dangerous type of music.
It's all brainwashing.
It's brainwashing. People don't know spiritually. And if you're sitting here and listening, you're like, music don't got no influence. It's okay.
Have that same energy when you listen to a TikTok song.
Over and over.
It loops at the minimum 2 times, and you don't even know the song, but you already know you singing the hook and the chorus and all that randomly throughout the day.
Right. It's a form of mind control. And I think as spiritually, we understand the devil was, for all you people that don't understand, y'all think music is just music. Music is just music. Music is not just music, right? What was the devil the angel of? He was the minister of music for God, right? So God, when he cast him out of heaven, he didn't take the devil's talent. He cast him out from amongst him. So what do you think? What is the most dominant form of media that we have now? Music.
And even the artists will tell you those frequencies, those high pitched, low tunes, auto tunes, all that kind of stuff. That number one Cali beat, bass. Yeah,
bro. I remember, and it can even happen in Christian music, bro. Yeah. I remember I had a song on there. It was a Christian rapper, but the beat was so like tenacious. Bro, I walked through that whole day feeling like I was just ready to fight somebody the whole day. and I'm listening to Jesus, God protect me, God do this, and I'm war ready for no reason. Because music has influence. Music is one of the most influential things. Just like media. Well, we had a guy comment on there. He's like, you guys play The Walking Dead. You guys are dealing with this. And I agree with him on this. Like, yeah, you have to protect your ears and eye gates. But then I also understand that there's a different level to spiritual covering that comes on to certain things, right? Because when we're playing these Walking Deads, if you actually look at how we play through, yeah, we have those moments where it's like, oh yeah, this, and we're dealing with violence, drugs, gang, blah, blah, blah. But then there's also lessons that if you look at our playthrough, we're adding our morality into it. Because at the end of the day, we know that at the end of the day, in the book of Revelations, the apocalypse is going to happen. It's already happening. We're already in Revelations is already being told, right? And we already know that if we live right, we won't be here for the tribulations. But just because you don't make it in the rapture does not mean that you're going to hell. You still have to just go through the tribulations. So those games, we understand that they're fake and they're supposed to be it's a storytelling. But we also understand that with storytelling, there's always some truth and the devil has to tell you what he's doing before he can do it. So that's why some movies we won't watch. But if there's a disaster movie like Twister or something, I'll watch them. I'll watch a disaster movie, not because I want to see people die, but I want to see, well, what did these people do to get through this disaster? And how did this disaster occur? And what was people's reaction before the disaster happened? You can learn what the enemy meant for evil, God has laid out for the just. He turned it around for the just. Meaning that if there's a game that you feel like is spiritually negative and you blah, 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 and God tells you don't watch it, don't watch it.
I've had to, because I like crafting games and survival games. I've had to get away from a lot of games. One particular is called like Nightingale. And that game was so demonic. Bro, I was like, I can't even download the game. Just the previews alone got me shook.
Right. And so I agree with people when they say, oh, as Christians, we shouldn't be engaging in this media and this media and this media. I get it. That's understandable. The reason why I play games the way I do is because that's what I was going in my career path. I was going to create those things. And my thing is, I was going to create Christian-based games. I was going to create a Christian game. My favorite series, Dynasty Warriors. I was going to make a game based off of all the battles in Israel because the Bible allows us to have those stories. The Bible tells us how those warriors fought. The Bible tells you the tactics too. That's the thing people don't get. And
they made a game. They made a game like that this year.
Right. Mm-hmm. And if you look through war, a lot of the tactics that you guys see in war now come from the Bible. The Bible has taught people that because the Bible is not just a happy-go-lucky or you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. The Bible is an account. It's a historical account. And a lot of games use the Bible as their reference because at the end of the day, there's nothing new under the sun. A
lot of TV shows and a lot of animes too.
Yep.
An American Sniper.
High functioning. My daughter's going to expect certain things and nothing less.
I'm sorry, real quick. Have I dated a girl and we go out, we eat by the pair, give her a full massage? Yeah. But I understand there's another nigga out there that can look at her and be like, yo, what's up? And she's sucking his.
Not your problem. When she's in your space and in your presence, that's all that matters. What another person might get from her or do with her is not your place and not your business.
So when I say that's a problem.
It's not your business.
I'm here for a good time.
When the girl is in your space, the girl is in your presence, what you do should matter, not what somebody else may or may not do. That's not your business.
Well, okay.
Jersey.
Yeah, because you.
When somebody comes to pick up my daughter to take my daughter on a date, he better come with something and better come correct. Or he could turn his little nappy-headed ass around and go look another girl down the road. But it won't be mine.
I feel like you're raising the type of daughter that's gonna be like, I need a nigga with a car that don't have a car. Like you're gonna raise those type of.
No, because
his mindset comes from when you guys always, and this is how the dating game is, right? This mindset is actually what a lot of the dating game is structured by. And it's the mindset of because this group of women did this horrible thing and X, Y, and Z, all women do these horrible things, X, Y, and Z. Because I saw on social media a dude was on a date with his girl, but then I scrolled up 10 videos and another dude was smashing that girl. All women do this. Because I got my heart broken by a cheater, all women are cheaters now. And it's the same vice versa. It's the same thing that women do to a lot of dudes. Oh, he only wants you for this. All men want you for this. Oh, he only acts like this around you, but that he does this. Since he's doing it for you, he's doing it for all other girls.
Yeah, the generalizations
right.
against one another are they're kind of crazy.
Yep. And the sad part is, and this is why I say it's men and women's fault in the dating game, because when you guys do that generalization so heavy, you guys don't realize that you're grouping everybody together, meaning that not only are you taking the bad, but you're scooping all the good in there and you're giving them all the same fate. No. And the Bible says God comes to separate the wheat from the tare, meaning that all of it's going to be gathered together, but he's going to go wheat, tare, wheat, tare.
No, I don't agree with that. I agree I agree. I think people do know that they're generalizing a mass group of people. They just don't care.
Okay.
They don't care. People are operating off a feeling or experiences or other people's experiences. Because just like the little TikTok that you showed me last night about the dude going to a deli and his girl was mad because the person at the deli already had his order ready for him and they already knew who he was by the scent of his cologne and all this other kind of stuff. Because that woman experienced that, now every other woman is gonna say, "See, now my man can't go to the deli." What does that have to do with you and your man? Nothing.
And the funny part about that TikTok, her synopsis was, why does the chick that works at the deli know what your cologne smells like? She shouldn't know. But then I'm like, Alex actually brought it up. The counter argument is, one, if he's going to that deli every day, he's a local. Just like there's food spots out here where you become locals.
You're and they know
you're a regular. And I'm like, if she smelled like the cologne,
she could have asked him, "What cologne are you wearing?"
Right.
Oh, YSL. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
get that from my man.
We take subtle things, and because they sound a little off, we immediately go for, oh, she know the smell of his cologne. Oh, they must have been sleeping together. We immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion.
And for him, I kind of understand where he's saying like, oh, you're gonna raise your daughters to be a certain kind of way or this and whatever. But I think everybody does that. Everybody raises their kids to have a certain level of expectations that they should have had when they were their ages or younger, and they project those expectations onto their kids because I've experienced that firsthand. My mom's projections have projected onto me, and thus that, created my own type of like expectations or standards. Even though if I didn't agree with them, like a young lady saying like, "Oh, I need a man that has a car." You don't even have a car, so why do you need a man that has a car? And y'all both are 17, 18, fresh out of high school. How shallow is that?
No, I get it. But I feel like also by him trying to call her out, him projecting that the standards and morals that she's raising is going to develop her into that type of kid. He doesn't realize that the standards and morals that he is putting out is also going to be projected onto his kid.
Yeah.
She wants her kids to have a sense of morals and standards.
Respect and values. That's understandable.
Yeah, she wants those. But you want your children, get it out the mud. He gonna be a killer. He gonna be a thug. He gonna be hardened. He gonna be ready for everything. He's gonna be blunt. Yeah, she's raising women to be women. You're raising a son to not be a man, but
barbarian.
Don't do that. Not a barbarian. Don't do that. He's raising him to be a survivor, not a man. He wants his child. He's raising his child to survive struggle. He's not raising his child to be what happens when you overcome that struggle, and that's the problem.
I'm raising my daughters are going to be self-sufficient and have their own too. I'm not raising my daughters to only expect to get things from a man and that's it. Like my daughters are going to get things together too, same way. But guess what? You need to be able to be on their level. I want to raise my daughters to be high value and high functioning, not just one or the other. High value and high. I want my daughters to be better than me.
Timestamp.
I'm sorry, I'm still on the whole
September 1st.
The girl that wants to nigga with a car that don't have a car. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like
bro.
No, first off, I already listen, I had a conversation with my daughter the other day. I'm like, as soon as you're ready to learn how to drive, I don't care if it's 10, I'm taking you to the parking lot. My daughters know. Like, my daughters are gonna know how to drive. My dad taught me how to fix holes in walls, do like a man. I know how to do a lot of shit. So I am able to, I can match my words. That's the only reason why I go so hard. Because I'm going to raise my daughters to be, I feel like most people, women raise their daughters to be on a man's supposed to take care of you. A man's supposed to do this. A man's supposed to do that. I'm not raising my daughters to think that way. I'm raising my daughters to care and cater to their partner and get the same energy they give. So that's why I'm able to say, I want a man to come to my daughter a certain kind of way. Because I'm raising them to do the same.
But you just saying that niggas can't take public transportation is absolutely insane.
I just don't want my children on it.
He didn't hear nothing. And that's because at the end of the day, because it's not going in a scenario that he imagines it to go to, he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what you said about the generalization thing. They know it, they just don't care.
Yeah, because everything falls on deaf ears. It's
right.
Selective listening.
She has the right idea. She's doing everything she's supposed to do. Her goal, look at the difference. I want my child to be better than me. Versus him, I want my child, not him, but we're going to just say he's over here. I want my child to go through what I went through. I got it out the mud and this is my result. My child needs to go through it too. I got it out the mud and this is my result. My child needs to build off of my results. Look at the difference. Now, if you look at other cultures, right? If you bring in a whole bunch of other cultures that have been known to have success of legacy after, you bring up some Chinese culture, Japanese, you bring up a few European cultures, you bring up even the Hispanic culture, right? You bring up Hispanic culture, prime example, the Samoan culture, all that, they all will most likely lean towards what she's saying. Now, I'm not saying that there's outliers that don't exist that go with what he's saying, but even out here, prime example in Cali, even the thug dudes I've met, the cholos, the ready to, all that, those dudes I've met out here in Cali, because they're everywhere. Everyone I've talked to them, when I'm in these warehouses working, they all say the same thing. I'm just doing this so my kid can be something successful. My kid gonna go to college. My kid gonna do this. My kid gonna do that. My kid gonna do this. I'm not letting my kid join my gang. I'm not letting none of that. But then I listen to some of the other black guys in there. Yeah, my son part of my set. What? I look at some of the Hispanic dudes in there because, to be fair, his son's in his set. But then he's like, yeah, man, my son's part of my set, but yeah, I'm trying to get my son out of that. I realized where I messed up. I'm getting my son out of that. We got to fix our culture. We got to teach our culture that the only reason why we all keep staying at the bottom as Western in the West, the reason why we stay at the bottom is because we're at the bottom. We build a ladder to get out of it. When it's time for us to push our kid, we push our kid off the ladder and say, nah, I built this ladder for me. Go get your ladder. And guess what? Then you die at level, you made it to level 2, then you die. But you also pushed your kid away from level 2. So now guess what? Your kid's gonna spend their whole life getting to level 2. Just so they can do the same cycle. That's why we have a whole bunch of people stuck on level 2. Because we don't want to let people get past level 2 and go to level 3. We keep pushing them back down. Anything else you want to say? Yeah, we're going to stop it here. We went on. This is a nice little discussion for us, though. Let us know how y'all felt about it. If y'all want to watch the whole thing, their channel is Being Black is Ghetto. You guys can go. I'm going to give them a like. Y'all do y'all thing, man. But let us know if you guys like these type of videos. We'll do more of these videos. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.